My name is Darrell Gunter. I'm your host for the Charleston Premiers edition 2025. We thank you for coming this morning. We have 10 really great, outstanding presentations for you. Okay, first up is Miss Aaliyah Giordano from CCC.
Hi, everyone. For those of you that don't know me, I'm Aaliyah Giordano. I'm the Publisher Solutions Sales Director at CCC, so feel free to come say hello. At CCC, as many of you know, we're all about licensing, but you may not also know that we're also about technology and data solutions that remove friction from the market, particularly in the transition to open access. We work with dozens of publishers to operationalize their agreements, and we have firsthand knowledge of how teams are leveraging data to build new offers, support renewals, and propose them to their institutional partners. We've talked to publishers who spend hours and hours combing through spreadsheets or who wait weeks for data analytics teams to turn around a report. From what we see and hear, most publishers are using a combination of manual data enrichment and deal modeling processes in their OA agreement offers. We find that most publishers and sales analytics teams are doing the right things, but just not in a sustainable way. This manual and fragmented approach limits publishers. It results in delaying renewals and risks providing inaccurate data sets, which leads to stalled negotiations and a lack of transparency with their institutional partners. At CCC, we believe that managing agreement offer creation from data enrichment to proposal in a single tool designed by OA experts allows you to build more offers faster and with better results. This aligns with our shared values between CCC, publishers, institutions, and the institutions and consortia that they work with. So here are the values and how they align with the benefits. Accuracy. Publishers are looking to remove the ad hoc nature of building data sets. They want to reduce the manual, error-prone data cleanup processes and have something reliable where the author and funder disambiguation process is automated, and they want to ensure that they aren't missing articles. Institutions want to trust that what they're seeing is correct. Efficiency. Publishers are looking for a way to accelerate offers and would love to create renewals and presentations through automated build and analyze functionality. They would like to empower teams to work more efficiently and spend less time sorting through data and more time working with customers. Institutions and consortia would like to reduce the number of times that they go back and forth with publishers on data accuracy so they can make room to focus on other priorities and finish negotiations. Flexibility. CCC supports all types of OA programs, from APCs to Read and Publish to S2O and more. Publishers need to be able to create multiple offers in minutes that can easily be changed when negotiating. Institutions benefit from the flexibility of having publishers able to put their data from the tool, which they can then export back into Excel spreadsheets at any time in the ESAC format that librarians are familiar with. Insight. Publishers need to optimize their data analysis and assist in quickly identifying trends through visualized analytics. They need to conduct regular reviews of their OA strategy through easy-to-access data sets and automated analysis. Institutions and consortia can utilize that analysis to identify trends at their institutions through visualized analytics. So OA Intelligence is a simple solution to a complex problem that was built by OA experts with 10 years of experience in operationalizing agreements. We automate publishers' disambiguation modeling and analysis processes so that they can meet the needs of the communities they service at scale. Okay. And then last thing I will say that it's also worth noting that we have a number of ways to help publishers get their historical data into the tool, where we then disambiguate the author affiliations at the article level to get the true picture of what publishers across their open and subscribed content looks like. So this allows them to optimize their deal modeling, and then everyone is very happy and set up for success. So thank you so much.
And next we have in our presentation roulette, we have consensus.
Hello, everybody. My name is Eric Olson. I'm the co-founder and CEO of Consensus, and I'm going to tell you a little bit about our product today. I was planning on doing a demo with the 4-minute time. We'll see if it works. We'll see if I get alarmed before that time. In a sentence, what is Consensus? We're an AI search engine built for academic research. We're used by over 8 million students, researchers, and clinicians across the world today, typically using us for literature reviews and typically as a starting point of a literature review use case. We have a product that you're able to sign up and use as an individual user. That's how we get to that 8 million number. But more and more recently, over the past year, we've started working directly with institutions. And when we're working with academic institutions, we're typically working directly with the library, getting a site-wide license for the entire university. We have some amazing early partners. We have over 85 North American universities currently doing pilots with us, including some of you in the room here today, which is great to see you all. So in kind of summary of what sets Consensus apart, kind of tried to break it down into 3 buckets of things I think we do as well as anybody. So first, we really try to hold ourselves to a high consumer usability standard. You know, the tools today that are being used by so many folks in consumer AI are incredibly intuitive, they're incredibly user-friendly, and they're incredibly flexible. And we think it's a disservice to the end users if we don't hold ourselves to that standard too. So I would put our interface and intuitive design up with any academic product in the market, and we try to hold ourselves to that true consumer AI standard. In this middle bucket on the left, I think another thing we've done is really try to focus on the core search and discovery use case that needs to be there when you're building a tool for literature reviews. AI summaries are great. Not everyone. Many people like them and they can speed up some workflows, but your summaries are only as good as the content that they're derived from. And if you don't put search and discovery first in the tools that you build, no matter how fancy-smancy your AI functionality is, it will fall short. We have a dedicated search science team. The first thing we built when we started Consensus was building it as a search engine that has AI layered on top of it, not the other way around. When you build it the other way around is when you run into so many of the problems that we all know today in AI tooling. And then the last one is we are here to try to partner with the academic community. We want to build this tool alongside you all. We are still in the earliest of days of new AI tools, and the best way we can get the best outcomes all together is to work together and try to build tools that meet the needs of a 2025 user who's demanding these consumer-friendly, flexible tools, but that are still aligned with what you all are hoping to teach at your institutions. So we got some messed up formatting on the slides. Go a little bit deeper in Consensus, kind of share some just product FAQs that we typically get asked about. So first, I made that point about our emphasis on search and discovery. When you're a search engine, it means you have a corpus of content that you're searching over. What is in our corpus? We have about 220 million scholarly journal articles in our database. We have aggregated these articles across 3 methods of aggregation that I'll speak to very briefly. There's a whole host of things we could get into here. But number 1, we work with the large nonprofit aggregators, OpenAlex and Semantic Scholar, that give us a great foundation to start with. Second bucket is we do some of our own crawling and indexing of the open scholarly web, where we know that there are gaps within OpenAlex and Semantic Scholar. And then third, more and more recently, that we're really excited about, also with some folks here in the room, we are starting to do direct partnerships with publishers. I think the point of all this coverage is we hope to amplify all of your holdings, not replace them. We hope that our Consensus universe is encompassing of the library's holdings. My last 2 points on search, I think the important TLDR takeaway is we use a combination of classic keyword searching with AI-driven semantic searching. It means you can Boolean search, but it also means you can put in a conversational command. And then lastly, on the AI features, the important takeaway is we only use generative AI after a search of the literature has been done, and it will always remain that way in Consensus. Start with search and discovery, and then layer in AI to help you navigate the literature a little bit faster. Thank you all. Sorry for going over.
now we're going to have Mr. Jeff Lang to do figure 2.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Good morning, everybody. Figure 2 is here to help authors create engaging, transparent, and understandable figures. There'll be web-native visualizations that are data-connected, mobile-ready, accessible, and fair. We're helping authors, institutions, and publishers meet crucial accessibility and open science mandates. Most figures, even in top-tier journals, are static images. They're often failing basic accessibility guidelines like poor contrast, labels that are too small, they don't support assistive devices, or keyboard navigation. They exclude readers, they fail audits, and they put organizations at risk of accessibility laws in the US and Europe. They're not compliant or user-friendly. Even when the data is archived, verifying the results becomes detective work for reviewers, librarians, and other researchers. Even authors wonder whether their data will ever be used. That's because the connection between figures and the underlying data is lost. Reproducibility breaks down, and trust in the science record suffers. This is an example of a multi-panel figure created in figure 2. It's interactive. It enables the reader to dive deeper into each chart or image. Each data point can be explored, and it's connected to its underlying data set directly in the browser, making validation and reuse effortless. Figures are designed for accessibility and include features like visual modes automatically. They're fully responsive and mobile ready. Public versions are preserved, citable, and fit naturally into the scholarly record. They're more understandable, and accessibility, transparency, and preservation are standard in every figure. The current process of creating figures is broken. It's not that there are too many tools, it's that figures get flattened into static images, losing all connection to the data behind them. Figure 2 solves that. Every figure stays connected to its data, always. This is a Figure 2 workspace, a Canvas-style editor designed specifically for researchers to create more understandable figures. With connected data sources so that supporting data flows through all of a researcher's figures instantly. And AI tools help reduce the tedious work without affecting the original data. The researcher remains in complete control, with detailed settings to tell the story of their data. Access to templates for beautiful pre-made styles that match complicated journal guidelines. And always meeting accessibility and compliance standards with automated checks and quick fixes. Researchers can collaborate through private links and preserve and post with a DOI when ready. Please come and find me after the presentation for a demo code and ask me about Title II compliance for institutional repositories. Thank you, and vote for Figure 2.
All right, Zendy is next. Lisette, who just did the marathon in New York. And also she's doing a fundraiser for a very worthy cause, so make sure you see that.
So this example is actually where the Zendy AI assistant has access to the content that is licensed by the publisher to be referenced in AI. It has access to the subscription of the libraries through EDS, and it has access. We have also inserted the data from a blog that's called Cassyni Clues. And what it basically does, it helps researchers and authors to learn everything about publishing, get tips and tricks and everything. So yeah, let me give 3-4 examples where those results will pop up. So the first one would be like, how does the increase in CO2 levels affect achieving net zero emissions? Of course, a little bit depending on how quick it goes on the Wi-Fi, but I'm hopeful. Here we go. So it's gone in the content that it has access to. And here we could even find the verified sources and click on them to go into the article and see how this response has been built up from these articles. So let's do another one. So let's go for what are the latest research papers, another hot topic, or studies published on cyber security. Very hard word to type. Thankfully, I could pronounce it. Here we go. So here are articles, and most recent, we actually see publication year 2026. So that's about as recent as it can get. Let's try one more. Let's see if it comes up with something when we ask, how do I best name a journal? So what I'm expecting here is that it would tap into the blog that we have added as an extra data source to this platform. Here we go. Yeah, so this is how to name your journal. So this would come from Cassyni Clues indeed. And now the beauty of everything, because accessibility doesn't just mean access, right? It also means to be able to understand the content. And sometimes English is not your native language. So you may want to ask a question in your native language. And so far, the tools that I have tried usually give you a response in English, right? You may be able to type in a different language, but the answer that you get back would not be the same. So let's do the same question. And I'm not going to say it out loud because my Spanish is not what it used to be. But I'm basically asking the same question that I just asked in English. How do I best name a journal in Spanish? And then let's see what comes up. Here we go. We get the same response translated in Spanish. And there's many more languages coming. And we really wanted to share this because we believe that this is an important step towards making research more accessible alongside the actual access.
All right. Mr. Evan Barry, Dewey.
All right, hello. I'm going to speak 20% faster than I normally do to try to get this into 4 minutes. I'm Evan Barry. I'm the CEO of Dewey Data. We're going to talk about modernizing academic data access. So Dewey was founded to make it easier for academic researchers to access commercial data sets. These are data sets that are typically reserved for hedge funds, retailers, data sets that cost hundreds of thousands, if not millions of dollars. Our whole goal was to make these same data sets available to academic researchers. This is my son, Miles. He is currently teaching me the ABCs. So I wanted to combine the two things that I'm thinking about with most of my day into the ABCs of modern data management. Obviously, we don't have much time to go through all A through Z today, so I'm going to get through as many as we can and talk about how this relates to data access in Dewey. So A is for access. What we do is we partner with dozens of these data companies and make their data sets available to academic researchers. Today we have about 30 data vendors. The types of researchers that are using our data are typically in the social sciences, but we cover departments like finance and economics, real estate, GIS, urban planning, and transportation. And what we do is we vet the best industry-leading vendors in any given space and before we add them to the platform. So we're looking for things like what's their longitudinal coverage, what the quality of their data sources are, so that when you're adding these data sets to our platform, we know that they're going to be helpful for researchers in order to get their research published. So B is for budget. You don't need me telling you that budgets are a big issue today. I could have done this whole A through Z with just words that relate to budgets. But generally what's nice about this model is our whole goal is to make the cost of these data sets for researchers significantly cheaper, to the point where a subscription to Dewey is actually orders of magnitude cheaper than it would be if you were to license these data sets individually. C is for contracts. So if red lines make you a little bit sweaty like they do for me, imagine doing contracts with 30 different data vendors. They all have different terms. They all have very different rules about how they want to protect their data long term. So one thing that Dewey does is we standardize these contracts and these licenses across all of these vendors into a data license that's very academic friendly. Because we only work with academic researchers, our data sets, our licenses have a lot of the standard terms that you know and love, and so it's really easy to do this license and then understand how these data sets can be used by your researchers. And I've written a lot about this in Steve's blog. I think Steve's here, so thank you for allowing me to do a guest post. But I've been in this, I've been on the data vendor side for a while now, so I've seen these licenses with researchers, and I know kind of the intricacies of what they care about and what they're optimizing for. And then we can kind of approach them from the academic side and make sure that our licenses are very straightforward. And Dewey has never lost a deal because we can't get through the licensing process. We've kind of come out of the gate with very standard data licenses that are easy to use. D is for documentation, and so one thing we wouldn't want to do to a librarian is say, hey, we just unlocked dozens of these or hundreds of these new data sets. Now you have to go support the users in trying to figure out what these data sets are and get their questions answered. So your inbox probably will look like this every time you provide them a new tool. We want to help you, and so we created some really great documentation where we go super deep into all of the information around these data sets. Each data set that we have on our platform has a dedicated documentation page where we go through the methodology, how that data has been collected, the schemas, summary stats, frequently asked questions, and we even have a section of our documentation dedicated for discussions so users can ask new questions, and we've staffed up with data scientists who are on staff answering these questions. So we really want to be almost an extension of the library team to help you enable users to get their research published. And we even have a section of our docs dedicated to resources for librarians. This covers things like single sign-on and other things that you would face with doing a Dewey subscription. And we have some links to the libguides of our existing customers there as well. And then finally, exclusivity. We only think about academic researchers. This is 100% of what we do and think about. This is the only market we sell into. So we've built everything we do with the academics in mind, and hopefully that shows ultimately in the product that we've built. So won't go through the rest. It's built all into a very clean, easy to use single product. And if you want to talk through the Z through or F through Z, feel free to reach out to me. Thank you.
All right. Next, we'll have Sylla to present. Welcome.
Hi everyone, good to be here. I'm Tom from Sylla. I'm one of the co-founders. And I'll share a bit more about Sylla and what we do to make OER work for your institution and how we connect open content with your teaching and learning needs. So over the past decades, we've all seen an incredible rise in the cost of textbooks, which have surged. And it will probably come to no surprise to many in the room that a lot of college students are skipping buying textbooks because they're simply too expensive. And this rise in cost for HE and textbook specifically is creating a bit of a structural crisis in access, equity, and academic success. As a response, as many of you will know, OER has emerged. to address this affordability crisis, and that's free and openly licensed materials that helps reduce financial barriers, but can also help to improve accessibility, equity, and offer the flexibility that educators and students and also libraries need for their everyday needs. Now, there's a growing pool of high-quality open content, scholarly open access materials, OERs, and a lot more that's available today. And in this context, libraries play a pivotal role, championing open on campus, curating content, training faculty, and aligning OER and other interests with institutional goals. And with this kind of growing pool of open content, what we try to do with Sylla is help and bridge this gap for a more seamless open content and curriculum integration. We do this by creating a pathway for each institution through their library to maximize OER uptake and ideally get to 100% OER in 4 simple steps. Firstly, what we do is that we do a scan where we try to paint we do paint a campus-wide picture where we analyze your reading list, your bookstore data, or your course catalog information, and then basically match the open corpus directly to that. And with that, we help you and we help the library to move from having a lot of messy data to actionable information. And that way, the library can show on campus how they can drive an impact at scale with open content and help improve affordability and other areas with OER. The second step is about getting started. This can be done in several ways, but one of the examples here is the community adoptions list, which we have. And what that essentially is that you can go into the platform, you can see where other libraries and universities are already using OER and open content today. You can look up courses you're teaching as well. You can look at other resources they're also using and actually see what your peers are using and use that for your local successes as well. Next to this, we help strengthen the library faculty collaboration through a seamless process and making it easy for the library to be resourceful and to help faculty with their course needs. Thirdly, there is the adopt step, and that is really for libraries or faculty or both together to work together and to mix and match the rich open content that exists. So taking open access books, OERs, chapters, articles, bits and pieces, and really bringing this together in a customized reader. And this can then, of course, be tailored to their teaching needs, their topics, whatever they want, and to really benefit from the richness that this openness has to offer. Finally, they can export and use this to power their classroom and make sure students have access to content at no additional cost. The fourth step is that, as you all know, the work doesn't stop there. Maybe we just are actually getting started. And that's really to grow the open content pool. So there's enough open content for any university to start with or any college, but there are also areas or topics that aren't well covered. And this is where we try to connect publishers and libraries through a new model called Adopt to Open, where we can create, grow, and sustain open content in use and really work together with the community. I'll go very briefly. There's a success story from Coventry here, where we've basically implemented this over the past year, covering 80% of their undergraduate or 12,000 students, and where the library has successfully expanded access in a sustainable way, making sure all students have access at no additional cost. I'll end with this slide, and then I can walk away. And this is a quote that I wanted to end with from one of our US partners, the University of Delaware. We're working with Trevor and his team at the library, and to really remind us a bit of why we're doing this work. And as he quoted here, and the case studies on the website, is that when students have access to the resources they need without having to choose between textbooks and basic necessities, we can create an environment where academic success is determined by effort and ability rather than economic circumstances. And that's the environment we'd like to create with you all together. Thank you.
And now we will have Cassyni to present. Mr. Otto.
Hello, how's everybody doing? I'm Tim from Cassyni. I'll be talking about research talks today. So show of hands, how many people have gone to a research seminar or research talk over the past year? Yep, a good amount. Now, how many have been able to find that research talk again or view it again after it's been completed? Very little. Okay, there we go. So talks, they've always been at the heart of research. They've always been part of it, but they're ephemeral. They're hard to live on, right? They're short-lived, and they don't always be able to go find them again. So AI is making it possible to preserve, showcase, and learn from them. So at Cassyni, we're helping publishers, institutions, funders, organizations by using AI in very clever ways to capture the video and do some pretty clever things with them. We do automatic chapterization of the slides, automatic table of contents, high-quality research transcriptions, as well as extracting citations out of the slides themselves and presenting them easily so anybody can click on them. We also have created cool features so you can engage with long-form video, such as seminars, and skim hours and hours of research in the matter of seconds through features like Ask the Seminar, Ask the Series, and Ask a Conference. We have various different talks of seminar series that are happening on our platform. Today we're going to talk about the institutional showcase and how we're working with Georgia Tech. So what are the benefits of the institutional showcase? You can promote the school's researchers and their research. You can attract potential faculty, students, collaborators. You can highlight the school's outputs to a wider audience. The other thing that we do at Cassyni is we're turning these research seminars into first-class knowledge objects. So we take the videos, we can create DOIs for them so they can become citable, but they can also be accessible, searched, shared, and discovered through other third-party integrations that we have with Dimensions and EndNote. So what can we do? We can understand what's happening with the research from these research talks at your institution by measuring these as outputs, so see who's talking, gauge impact of where they're talking and who they're talking with, and then we can start to develop a new bibliometric resource by collecting these talks in one place and understanding the research that's happening both on and off your campus. And we make this very simple to do. One of the main blockers of anything is how can you get it into my workflow? Well, first we started with a way to automatically just find all the different research talks that are happening at off your campus, so in and off your campus, bring those into an archive, collect those, enrich them with all the AI possibilities that we can, and then we can start to build an online tool that researchers can edit their metadata for those talks, but then they can start to add new talks to the archive, and all they need to do is actually invite Cassyni to that talk that they're giving at another university and invite in the Cassyni bot to actually record it. Once we do that, we have the collection to become a showcase. We can publicly promote the institution's talks, and then privately we start to understanding the research and the impact of their faculty. So what's the benefits of the institutional showcase? You can start to help to recruit new students for your lab. You can bring students quickly up to speed on the research that your department is doing. But you can also have a new accessible way for you to concisely look at hundreds of hours of video and start to ask questions on the research from your university. So I guess the question is, how many talks are happening at your institution today, and are these being captured? Let's work together to extend the scholarly record. Find me at tim@cassyni.com. Thank you.
All right. Virtusales is next. Let me get Mr. Thank you for your patience.
Thank you. Thanks. All right. Good morning, everyone. I'll get straight into it. So we work with many publishers, including Bodle & Brewer, Elsevier, Oxford, Sage, Princeton, Penn State, to name a few. We are in the beginning of the puzzle. A lot of people are talking about the end use and libraries. What we do is we allow people to manage their publishing process, but then communicate that data out to libraries, retailers, Amazon, etc., down the line. So we do a lot of things. We then ingest sales back in to then calculate royalties and licensing that is then to be paid out. But what I'm going to focus on today is the product management side. Now, we're in a beautiful city where there is so many choices for what you can eat. But imagine if you came here and every restaurant served exactly the same meal. Well, when we currently, publishers, when they've got a title, they're sending out information to all their different recipients, but they're sending out the same message. But you know what? People need different things. So you actually need to have a different curated story for a library compared to Amazon, compared to your website, compared to other perhaps platforms that are serving up the data for the end users. The challenge is it's very expensive and slow to customize the message. So we're talking about what's a book about? Why would someone want to read this book? What are the key words? So for each channel, you need to be able to customize this. Using BiblioSuite's assistive AI tools, we're allowing you to automatically send out data that is curated for the end recipient. This is huge because many publishers, when they go to the trouble of writing your book, you get all your metadata, but they don't have time to potentially do all of the copy fields that they need to, or it's a rush job. So let alone customizing it per recipient, we're allowing them to produce AI-assisted copy for descriptions, keywords, keynotes, things like that, do translation copy that can then be sent out in Onyx feeds, etc. Adding in all of the proper categorization codes such as thema, BISAC, other subject categories so you can find the right data, and keyword tagging for images and also AI opt-out control. So what does this look like on the front end for the users is you can choose who are you actually writing this copy for? Is it your own house style, librarians, retailers? You can't see me, I'm pointing to this area, and for the website. So you can then send out the right data to the right recipient. Case study, we just had one client who updated 800,000 titles with new metadata that was customized by channel. So they could not have done that. And so this really helps them to communicate better to the end audience. So what do we end up with? We end up with everyone gets a perfect meal. You don't have to have the same meal as everyone else. You can choose and send out the right data and have the right meal for the right audience, and be able to do this with a very flexible tool that can also help in managing all your other publishing services. So vote 1 for Virtusales. Woo!
Hi, everybody. Oh, thank you so much. Yeah, hi. Good morning. Thanks for being here. This has been an exciting session. I am Rebecca Bryant, and I'm with Trinka. You've probably seen our names on your badges. We're a silver sponsor here. Trinka's also, earlier this year, was recognized by Gartner as an emerging visionary for generative AI, and so I want to tell you about some of the things we're doing with our DocuMark product, which is an academic integrity tool. So there is great things we're hearing about AI. I was at EDUCAUSE last week. There's a lot of excitement about the ways that we can support tutoring, but there's also some real challenges here. Students are overusing AI. There's early research suggests their metacognitive skills are declining. There's real risks to learning, and there are real risks to academic integrity. Faculty are struggling to respond, and we can't just tell students to use AI. So we need to really be thinking about how we can leverage technology to help address some of the challenges so that our students can focus on learning. And that's why Trinka is offering DocuMark. This is an academic integrity solution that supports student writing while promoting process of responsible AI use. It's transparent, it keeps the human in the loop, and it's really a focus on the process of writing and not just the product. And that is the phrase that I've heard repeatedly from faculty, especially in the humanities. So DocuMark documents the writing process. I mean, the name is good. It really provides clear insights on how the doc content is created by identifying the sources and the prompts used. It guides students to revise and to verify their AI usage, which is what faculty are already asking me. Show me how you're doing this. We make it simple. We collect writing pattern analytics, which can help us understand, oh, you wrote this, oh no, you cut and pasted this, oh, how engaged was the student? And in the end, we provide a seamless report to faculty that actually adds convenience. So a little orthogonal view of what I just described is for students, they just write. They just do their normal writing as process in Word, in Google, whatever. There's a plugin. And then from there, they're really just sort of guided in, claiming and articulating what they're using with their AI usage, and the DocuMark does the work behind the scenes. And then on the faculty side, which is also transparent to the students, it provides a seamless dashboard that includes here on the top both a student effort score and an ownership score, which comes from those writing analytics. All right. What I want to say about this is that I think this is a really useful tool. I think that this is valuable to faculty, but I will also say I don't think it does everything, but it is incredibly useful and time-saving for faculty to use this as part of what they're doing with assessment. This is really an evidence-based record for evaluation of the writing process. Quick view, dashboard, really easy to delivered directly to the faculty. They can access this, all their students here, all of the assignments are put together, very convenient, and you can see those student effort and ownership scores there very quickly. So that's very convenient for them at a glance to say, oh, I'm going to want to look at this one first. I may want to ask for revisions. Okay, quickly, I'm probably getting close on time. The benefits of DocuMark are really about transparency, accountability, helping to keep the students focused on learning by guiding the process and not relying so much on the product. So the goal is to really create an environment where students are engaging in responsible AI, where faculty feel supported, where they have more convenience because they're really burdened with the current process, and to provide safeguards for really institutional reputation, learning, and academic integrity. And there we go. If you want to learn more, here's your QR code, and come talk to me. I'm Rebecca Bryant. Thank you so much.
Okay, hey everyone. I think I'm the last presenter, so we're going to keep this short, sweet, and quick. I'm going to go ahead and time myself. So again, my name is Ruben Adorno. I lead global academic subscriptions at Bloomberg, and more specifically, Bloomberg.com News. So today, I just want you to come away with 3 key things. So the first one is, what exactly is Bloomberg.com News? The second one is, how do you differ from other news providers? And the very last one is, I want you to have a good understanding of our latest feature, which is the pointed quiz, which we're all going to play together. So just to kick off, so who are we? So I'm sure many of you are familiar with Bloomberg, the terminals. Many of you have labs on your campuses. Thank you so much for being a part of our ecosystem. We really appreciate it. That is the data side. So I work on the media side. So anything having to do with Bloomberg television, radio, podcasts, all of our articles, Bloomberg Business Week, that is all part of this product. And how do we differ from other news providers? I always say is 3 main verticals. So the first one is just scale. So as you can see here, we have over 3,000 news reporters, anchors, journalists, all creating 5,000 stories a day across 125 news bureaus. So we truly are a global company. The second, I think, is the most important, especially right now, and that is our point of view. So it's really important for all of our data to be extremely objective. I say we are the chronicle of commerce, and it's really, really important that we provide our audience base with credible, data-driven news. We're really not interested in swaying, and we can't afford to sway anyone any type of way. This is what happened today, so you can make informed decisions about your companies, campuses, constituents. The third is the most, I would say, this is where we get the most feedback on, which is the media I was talking about. So again, Bloomberg television, radio, podcasts. There's so many different types of learners. Students aren't going to read 5 to 10 articles a day. They're just not. They're on TikTok, they're on Instagram, right? So we might as well just have them build habits around news in the media they like. So maybe they want to watch a short documentary that we have, or maybe listen to a podcast so they get all the information they need for the day. All right, so now the third thing I wanted to talk about was why we're here today. What's the new feature, right? What's new that you guys are working on? So we just got in the gaming space, which is quite new. It's called the Pointed Quiz. Comes out every Thursday at 5. So we're all going to play a game together. So what happens is every Thursday at 5, this quiz comes out, and we give you the topics of the 10 questions. So
you can decide here, I really get careful about what I say. I don't want to say gambling. So I say you can increase or hedge your bets with the students. They get very excited about this. But for me, right, I think I'm going to get valuations right. And maybe definitely hurricanes and probably not global politics or Argentina. This is just an example. I'm going to hit I'm ready. So when the students are taking the quiz, they have 3 opportunities to double their bet or triple their bet if they think they're really going to get it right, or they can hedge their bet if they're just really not sure. And we'll do this first one together. So NVIDIA became the first company to achieve a $5 trillion valuation. Just 4 months ago, which company became the first to hit a $4 trillion valuation? Anyone can just shout out what you think the answer is. Are you extremely confident about that? We're going to do a 3 times bet. NVIDIA, you're correct, sir. Even if you got it wrong, that's okay, which you didn't, you got it right. It's okay because we give you the context of why you got it right or wrong so the students can understand, they can build habits and go back to those articles. They get super excited about it and want to share these with their colleagues and just say how good they're doing it and build habits around coming back to the news. And I gave myself a timer and I'm done. Thanks so much, everyone. I really appreciate it.
All right, we're getting close to the closing, but before we do, we're going to do some voting in regards to what you'd like to see here. And if you can pull out your camera phones and scan the QR code and vote for Best Design. Best Design. And for my speakers, if we can assemble right here in the corner, I want to get a picture. I'm sorry? It's too small? Which one has wrong? H.
If the QR code is too small, you can also go in your browser to pollev.com. That's pollev.com/CHSCONF. That text is very small at the top. I apologize about that. pollev.com/CHSCONF.
Let's see here.
You can just raise your hand if you need me to repeat that again. Okay. pollev, pollev.com/CHSCONF.
And if you want to vote for Zendy, it should be H. Yep. Zendy is H.
Why isn't that one showing? Zendy's showing as knowledge E, H, yeah.
Okay, are we ready for the next category? Yep.
All right. Figure 2. Got the first. Okay.
Most impactful. Keep in mind that knowledge E is Zendy. Zendy is G. Knowledge E, Zendy. We'll give it another 20 seconds. All right. I'm sorry, could you repeat that?
Yeah, under Trinka C, it says Crimson AI, but she didn't talk about Crimson AI, she talked about DocuMark. But so,
That's the name of the product, right? The company is Crimson AI, Trinka, and DocuMark.
oh,
Okay. All right. Leah said we go to the third category.
Are we tied for figure two? Whoop. Sylla just pulled ahead.
Sylla just pulled it out.
Okay.
Ooh. All right.
We're ready for the last one. Best new product.
Best
overall.
new product. I have my thoughts, but I'll leave them to myself because that wouldn't be fair. Jeff, how many relatives do you have here in the audience? Leah, shall we call it?
I think it's a clear figure two winner
Figure
for this
two,
one as well.
2 out of 3. Wow.
Congratulations.
Ladies and gentlemen, I'm Darrell Gunter, your host for the Charleston Premiers. We want to thank you for your time and your patience today. And let's give all of our speakers a big round of applause. Thank you very much and enjoy the rest of the conference. And if I can have the speakers to come over here for a quick photo op. Carolyn, can you help me there?